20 number? When you count the multiple personalities.
518, whatever. Yeah. They all have 3%.
There you go.
And 9 hearts. You got a guess.
Yeah.
We love you, but don't live forever.
What a beautiful, beautiful day to be here. It's always nice when, I always know it's going to be a wonderful service when I come in the back of the sanctuary on my way in to, with my basket of flowers and vases and clippers and whatever else. And the choir is singing, and I break into tears because it's so beautiful and it's quiet and the sanctuary is empty. Before the service in the sanctuary is one of my favorite times in the church. It feels very special, and so an extra special thank you to the choir and to John and Scott for all of the, you have been outdoing yourselves week after week after week. So I offer you gratitude on this Volunteer Recognition Sunday. Good morning, I'm the Reverend Lisa Bovee-Kemper. My pronouns are she and her. In this congregation, challenged by our liberating faith, we discover deeper spiritual meaning, nurture loving community, cultivate courageous connections, and partner in the work of justice. Welcome to each and every one of you on the live stream and here in person. We're pleased to have guests with us in this room and participating virtually. I encourage you, if you are new or have been here a few weeks or even a few months and you haven't yet, to reach out to our Director of Member Relations, Kelly Greene. Her email and her smiling face are on the screen so that you know who she is and how to reach her. We have large print orders of service, personal hearing assistance devices, and an elevator available. There's also a hearing loop in our alternate worship space, the Bernstein Room, which also functions as a slightly lower sensory space than this one. We have coloring pages and fidgets in the vestibule for all ages, if that's useful to you or your children. And this morning, I hope that you either brought a flower from home or were able to take a flower from our vase of extras in the hall and contribute to our collective flower bouquet, our community flower bouquet. If you did not bring your flower and put it up yet, I will invite you to do that during the opening music. Whether you are here in, announcements. That was an announcement I wasn't planning. Could any of you who are staying for the annual meeting, the congregational conversation, and have children that would like to be in childcare during that time, raise your hands? A few, okay, great, thank you. And that reminds me that our congregational conversation annual meeting is today, I believe, are we starting at 11:30? Yeah. There will be some reports, some votes, some conversation. I hope that you will all attend. Again, a warm welcome to each and every one of you, whether you are here in person or joining via live stream. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst, we are stronger because you are here. We are one people of many beliefs, origins, identities, and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. Some of you, as I've said, may be visiting for the first time today or did not know about today's flower ceremony. Though some have come without a flower, some have brought extra flowers, everyone is welcome to participate in this special ritual. There are always flowers left over at the end of the service. This is the grace we find in congregational life. All may come forward and be welcomed. And now I invite you to take a deep breath and settle in as the service begins. And as I've said, if you did not have a chance to add a flower to the communal bouquet, you may do so during the opening music. Thank you. This morning's service, particularly the volunteer recognition liturgy, is adapted from a service that was written by the Reverend Tara Klein. On June 4th, 1923, so 101 years and 2 days ago, Unitarian minister Norbert Čapek held the first flower communion ceremony in his church in Prague, Czechoslovakia. The service was intended to bring some heart to his usually head-focused preaching, providing a simple ceremony of sharing and connection. Čapek's wife, Maja, also a minister, brought the flower communion to our congregation in Cambridge, Massachusetts in 1940. She wasn't able to return to Prague after the Nazis took control of the city, and Nazi court records show that the humanity-affirming values of Dr. Čapek's Unitarian faith were too dangerous to the Reich, and he was taken to Dachau. It wasn't until the war was over that Maja Čapek learned that her husband had died there. Friends, grown-ups and children, what Norbert and Maja Čapek brought us in this ceremony is an important reminder of how essential it is in every century, in every schoolroom, in every playroom, in every workplace, in every congregation, to uphold the principles of hope and joy, the values of hope and joy, and to fight for compassion and justice and kindness. The principles and dreams for which Norbert Čapek died. We dedicate our time together this morning to him and to the many others who have risked their own safety to carry them forward. May we have the courage to live our faith, to honor their legacy, and to take our places as part of this humanity and life-affirming, justice-seeking tradition. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, For the Beauty of the Earth.
For the beauty chalice lighting this morning comes from the Reverend Susan Frederick Gray. As we light our chalice this morning, may we be mindful of how radical and powerful love is, and how dangerous those who use fear perceive love to be. May we know how necessary and essential it is to keep alive the message of universal love, of humanity and human dignity, of reverence for life, all creation in our hearts and in our actions. We are now among the keepers of the flame. Aren't flowers beautiful? Different colors and shapes, and sizes and smells. Some are big and tall like a sunflower. Some are delicate, small like a blue spider. Some have great, strong smells like gardenias, and some hardly smell at all like an amaryllis. Some are brightly colored like tulips, and some have a gentle color like a peony. And some can be all of these things, like roses. But they're all beautiful, and don't they make you feel good? Flowers are kind of like people, huh? All different colors and shapes and sizes and smells. I like that. I like that people are all different. You can have friends who are loud and strong, friends who are quiet and gentle. People who make you feel happy and playful, or people who make you feel thoughtful and calm. But they're all beautiful, just like flowers. Now, flowers don't just pop up. Excuse me. Flowers don't just pop up and begin as flowers. They start as seeds. And it takes nurturing and care, shelter and sunshine and food and time before that seed can grow into a flower. Today is what UUs call the Flower Communion. So we honor not only the blossoms, but also the beginnings as a seed, and the nurturing that it takes to help those seeds grow into blooms. Our Flower Communion had a big birthday last year. As Reverend Lisa said, it was 100 years old. 100 years, can you imagine? I bet that seems like a long time. But it's true, people have been celebrating this ceremony for now 101 years. There's only a few of us who've been around anywhere near that long. But guess what? Do you know that flowers have been around so much longer than that? Scientists have found fossils of the world's oldest flowers, and they think it kind of looked like a magnolia. And they were over 100 million years ago. Can you even imagine? I can't imagine that long, but I do think about what scientists would think about me if they discover me 100 million years from now. Let's get back to the flowers. Now, flowers are usually made up of petals, and each of the petals is a different part of the flower. I bet you all have lots of different parts that make up who you are, right? You might have a petal for fun, a petal for sports, a petal for family, maybe some for happiness, for sadness, for love and other feelings. It's kind of like Inside Out. Have you seen Inside Out? There's a different place for each of the feelings and emotions. And each petal you have, while a part of the whole you, the whole flower, each petal is also unique. Unique because you are one of a kind. You are unique. And you need all of your petals to make up who you are. It's not okay to only say this petal's okay, but this one's not. We need them all, right? It takes all of those things to make these blossoms. I sure do love the beautiful flowers that you all are, with all of your petals. What if you could be a flower? I wonder what kind you would be. I wonder what you would look like. And if you were a flower, how would you make other people feel? I want you to know that you are all beautiful, no matter what kind of flower you are. And the even cooler thing is that when we join all of our flowers together, we make something even more beautiful, even stronger. We bring all the colors and the shapes together, all of our petals, and we make an amazing bouquet. And when we bring our bouquets together, we then create a whole garden. All the flowers together here, blooming together, growing together, still holding our unique selves while we blossom together to bring light and love to the world. Once we decide to come together, we have to be aware of each other, though. We have to make space that there are other kinds of blooms, and we have to honor each other's growing path that might be different. We wouldn't be such a beautiful garden if we were standing on our own, or if we got tangled up in our own desires all the time, instead of working together to create something beautiful. And when we share the bouquet with flowers, we make even more flowers, and we help each other grow. Being together changes some of our petals, helps more of the color come out, shifts how the petals fit together. And then we're not the flower we were before. Now we're something new, a kaleidoscope of colors, a blossom that has become to be. My wish for you is to embrace your petals, stand tall and blossom, and help us grow a beautiful garden together. If you will all rise, embody our spirit, and sing our congregational song, the words will be on the screen.
all ages got one of the little A4 size pieces of paper as you were coming in. If you didn't, they are meant for everybody and you can get one on your way out, but that is our little thank you token for you, all of you who make this place what it is. And I wanted to give you something to take away that said thank you, but I didn't want to give you another piece of plastic junk that was going to get broken or stuck in the junk drawer. So that is seed paper. So you're welcome to save it, you know, as a souvenir forever. But if you don't want to do that, you can plant it, you can put it in the soil, and wildflowers will grow. Today we celebrate the sacred resources of you, our people. So many of you offer your generous gifts to this congregation. Your staff team and your board appreciate all who bring their open minds, open hearts, helping hands, and loving spirits to support the ministries of this community. We come together to deepen our personal lives, move toward relationship in other communities, and bring healing and peace to the world.
The ways we do this are many. Care for our worship life. Our Sunday morning worship is meant to connect us to each other and to our sense of the holy, to bring us comfort and to invite us to transformation. It takes a lot of people to make our Sunday morning experience possible. For those of you who care for our worship life, we thank you. If you are involved in any of the following teams or groups, please rise or raise your hand, remain so until the congregation has offered their thanks and praise. Greeters. Come on, y'all. Ushers. Coffee service. We love our coffee servers. Our adult and children's choirs. Our handbell choir. If you have otherwise been a musician or a soloist, if you've been a lay service leader in the past year, if you do our AV and you are not currently in the booth and already standing, if you work in the nursery, and if you've done our safety patrol. Okay, now.
An important aspect of our care for mind, heart, body, spirit connection is our encouragement of spiritual growth. As Unitarian Universalists, we have the gift of being able to pursue spiritual growth in many ways. For those of you who care for our mind, heart, body, spirit connection, we thank you. If you have served in any of the following roles over the past year, please rise or raise a hand and remain so until the congregation has offered their thanks and praise. Adult Religious Education and Spiritual Development Team, Children and Youth Religious Education Team, Community Building Team, Community Sunday Planning Team, and anyone who has offered a workshop. I know a bunch of you have done that. The gardening group, teachers or advisors for our children and youth, our whole lives facilitators, mountain con advisors and drivers, the credo presentation coordinator, and presenters.
Some of our care is invisible, but no less important to the health and well-being of our community. There are so many ways our congregation is maintained and cared for, through the finances, the tending of the building, supporting leadership, and nurturing each other's emotional well-being. For those of you who care for our congregation, we thank you. If you volunteered in any of the following areas over the past year, please rise or raise a hand and remain so we can give you some praise. Stewardship team, membership team, our building and grounds team, congregational care team, finance team. If you have served as our treasurer in the last year, communications team, Memorial Endowment Trust. If you've been a stewardship canvasser, if you served on the Board of Trustees, if you're on the minister search team, or on a nominating committee, or on the safety team, we thank all of you.
Also, the right relationship team, the right relations team, if you would.
I missed you.
We're particularly grateful to them because they are a brand new team forging their path, and so thank you. Some of our care for our wider community takes place outside of UUCC to ensure that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. For those of you who care for our wider community, we thank you. If you helped lead our work or participated in any of the following teams, please rise or raise a hand. Remain so until the congregation has offered their thanks and praise. The Intersectional Justice Team, and that includes the engagement group, if you rolled off this year. The Denominational Relations Team, and the Open Door School Managing Team. Some of you stood up a couple of times, participated in many of these groups, deeply rooted in this community. Some of you are like seedlings, just getting started and finding your place. Wherever you are in the cycle of our congregational life, we appreciate you and what you bring to this community. It is the people who make UUCC what it is. Thank you so much.
favorite songs. We've been talking today about flowers, and the truth is that sometimes talking about it isn't enough. Singing about it isn't even enough. Sometimes we might feel like moving and feeling about it. So that's what we're going to do now, a body and heart moment. You are invited to participate as you want and as you are able. Remember how I said earlier that we are like flowers with all different kinds of petals, and each one might be different? Well, let's think about that now. What would you be like as a flower? You can either imagine this in your mind's eye, or you are invited to show this in your body. You may rise. If you were a flower, would you stand really tall? Or would you be a short, small flower? I have a feeling I would be a really big flower with wide petals. Now hold out your petals. Do they stretch really high up? Do they reach to the sides? Do they come over the top and droop? Figure out your flower. Take a moment and find it. And now turn to the side and turn to the other side and look at all the other flowers. You can even turn in a circle as you are able. Oh boy, now here comes a little breeze. Let your flowers sway with the breeze, feeling the air around you. Uh-oh, now the wind is picking up. Stronger wind now, and you rock back and forth from side to side, swaying and bending with the wind, but remembering that you are strong and rooted in the ground. Now the wind has passed, and the clouds part and the sun shines through. Show me how you greet the sun on your petals. Doesn't that feel warm? Now let's remember again, we're not alone. As you feel comfortable, what kind of word is that? As you feel comfortable, take the hand of the flower next to you, or rest a petal on their shoulder, or if it's more comfortable, just look at them and nod. Look at us, look around, what an amazing bouquet of flowers. I'm gonna take some imaginary pictures. All the flowers, beautiful. Now let's come back to our own space. Let your petals come down slowly. Bring your arms down, allowing your flower to come down. Be seated if you are standing. And pull your arms to your heart, knowing that you take this bouquet of flowers with you wherever you go. Hold it there for a moment and breathe.
One of the things I love about the flower communion ceremony is that we all do it. We all do the consecration of the flowers. In some traditions, when you get ordained, you get some, I don't know, special something magical in your hands that allows you, your heart, that allows you to do things like bless and consecrate that other people can't. And what I love about our tradition is that we all hold that ability to bless and connect and love and consecrate. So I invite you, there are going to be words on the screen. We're going to do the left side and the right side. Yes. I have to do it backwards, right?
Is that house left or stage?
So the L is going the wrong way. So there will be words on the screen, and the left side will say LS, words, and the right side will do RS. You can cheat yourself a little bit toward each other, or you can, that's fine, but we're gonna consecrate the flowers together. Each one of us brings our own gifts, talents, perspectives, spiritual journeys, joys, and sorrows. Each of us brings a unique and beautiful self. Thank you to every single one of you for the gifts that you bring to this community. These flowers we see before us they come in many shades and colors. They come in many sizes and shapes. They carry different scents. Some have no scent at all. Yet all were created by the same miracle. The miracle these blossoms grow every year out of the mixing of water, soil, and sunshine. Our lives are miracles as well. Despite our trials and disappointments, Unitarian Universalists across the world celebrate Flower Communion each year. To be reminded that all of us have value and all have a place in the beauty of the world. To be reminded that where you come from is not as important as the fact that you are here now. To be reminded, let's all say it together, to be reminded that all are welcome in this community. We come to be part of something greater than ourselves. Will you stay seated and sing together? There are so many gifts, those tangible and intangible, the special pieces, facets of this community that we all bring. We have a new Share the Plate recipient for the month of June. That is an organization called We Rock Charlotte. They use art and music to bring people together, and the goal, the bigger goal, is to break down systems that harm women and girls and trans folks and queer folks using music and art and working together, collaboration. Next week, the executive director of the organization will come and tell you much more than I am today about this organization, but we do share our plate every couple of months. So I invite you to give generously. While the offering is collected, you are invited to come forward and choose a flower, a different flower from the one that you brought, to take home with you. I leaned over to Paula during that beautiful music, watching all of you come together and come to the table, and I said, this is where it gets hard for me. It's June 2nd, and I will be with you for 29 more days. It is when we begin to say goodbye. And we all knew, including me, that that was what was going to happen. We all chose it. Well, I don't know if you chose it, I chose it. It is one of my goals always to have a good goodbye in a congregation, and I will say it again, I'm sure, but I will miss this place and these people and your wide open hearts and your willingness to do hard things. Please join me in a time of contemplation or prayer. Breathe deeply. Feel your roots go down into the ground. Be present to that spirit of life that is in us and through us and around us. Be present to the people who are next to you and around you. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. The gathered community hears and holds both difficulty and ease as we honor the experiences that make each of us who we are. Today, we hold in our hearts Denise Weldon Clark. Her father died earlier this week. She is in New York with family at this time, but please send her your love and support. And today, as I watch this raucous, multicolored, extravagant bouquet of flowers that we created, I want to name and honor that June is the month that we have designated to be Pride Month. And sometimes I wonder if, Pride has gotten too capitalistic and, whatever, that it's not so much what it was, that spirit of a riot. And I think that fighting for the right to be who we are, all of us. But a friend of mine posted on social media yesterday that while she has been out for ages and ages and ages and has a very supportive and wonderful community around her, that it matters to her to see people celebrating Pride because she's estranged from her family. And seeing all the people out there who are in support and celebration and solidarity matters because it counters the messages of harm and broken relationship that are real for so many of us in the queer community. So I invite you to celebrate as an accomplice, as an ally, as a proud parent or sibling or friend, or as a card-carrying member, flag-flying member of the queer community, or if you are not yet ready to fly the flag or apply for the card or memorize the manual, just kidding. There is room for you in this space as well. We will hold that space for you until you can claim it for yourself. May all beings be well and celebrated and safe. Our meditation. Our lives are like flowers, like the flowers we pretended to be and the flowers in front of us. We gather and collect beautiful moments, beautiful joys, delightful experience, laughter and smiles. May we celebrate the beauty of the precious, beautiful flowers. But most flowers fall from their branches at the end of the season. It is inevitable that they die, and so it is with our lives. There are times that our flowers wilt and die. So we create space for the sorrows of our lives, the fallen petals, the trampled blooms, the challenges, disappointments, sadnesses, and struggles. We make space to mourn and cry and hope that the flowers will return again. And there are times that we must wait for the flowers to return, the liminal space in between. May we have hope that they will return to their full beauty soon. For all the seasons of our lives, we rely on the strength of community, our faith, and the confidence that we are all part of the cycle of life and that love endures. Amen, and blessed be. If you would like to rise in body or spirit and sing our closing song, The Sweet June Days. As I extinguish the chalice, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. You may be seated, and as a benediction, I will share the words of the prayer that Norbert Chapek wrote for Flower Communion, slightly adapted. In the name of love, we celebrate the friendships found here. May we be held in the long tradition of this faith, knowing that we rest on shoulders of those who came before us. Let us carry the same resolution to honor the inherent worth and dignity of every person. May we gather strength from these good people, knowing that the spirit of love and life unites us. And may we endeavor for a more perfect, more peaceful, more grace-filled life. After the music, go in peace and always with love.